Hi guys, and welcome back to LarkTV.
And thank you for joining us in another video where this one is slightly different today, isn't it? Because we're not out on the road, we're not road testing the car, and we're not rallying. We are here in our studio.
Yes.
We're in our studio because we're going to be talking cars today. Well, we're going to be talking car model numbers, aren't we?
Yeah, we're just going to be busting a few myths because it's a thing that most people kind of miss. Like, they just see the number on the back of their car and it's like, oh, I've got the whatever. But you don't actually realise that sometimes the meaning behind them, and a lot of companies are actually changing how they're doing it now to kind of cope with new engines that they're building and different things. But we're going to kind of do a bit of a season of these kind of episodes
that you can all catch up on.
Yeah, and each episode's going to be a different manufacturer that we're going to go over and completely just
because we've definitely noticed recently that model numbers in cars are changing, and there is a reason for that, particularly with the manufacturer we're going to start with first, which is Audi. And this first cropped up for us when we were filming a couple of weeks ago the Audi TT 20-year anniversary edition. Oh, if you haven't watched that, if you go, what video, you need to go back, watch the previous video. It was the previous video.
It's the previous video.
It's a review we did on the Audi TT 20-year edition model. So please go and watch that.
We won't say any more.
Whatever you do, make sure you like it. Do all those subscribe and all those things. But whilst we were there, we kind of started realising that on the roads, we're looking at certain model numbers on Audis. We're thinking, what's changed here? It all of a sudden looks like it's a 4-litre TDI, 3-litre, which I know historically there has been that numbering system, but suddenly it seemed to be really prominent. I thought, this can't be right. So we looked into it a little bit.
We did.
And the numbering system has changed, and there's a reason why.
Cars now, Audi used to do it on your engine size. So you had your 2 litres, your 3 litres, and then everything in between and anything up. But now, because cars are a lot are going hybrid, and even a lot in the future are going to be going full electric, there's not going to be engines. Displacement is a thing of the past. So now Audi has basically changed their system so that it's going now to a list of numbers, which will kind of give you output. Power output instead of engine size, basically.
I mean, historically, obviously, it was based on engine size, but now to sort of
unify
everything, you know, depending on, regardless of what kind of drivetrain, whether it's petrol, some kind of gas engine, hydrogen, natural gas, electric or hybrid, the numbering system is now based on the power output of that unit, regardless of its layout, basically.
So it's basically going to allow you to compare your powers. Say you've got an e-tron, which is pretty much why they're changing this. But
let's not say too much.
Yeah. So say you just want to compare an electric Audi to a non-electric Audi. Before you couldn't really do that because on the back you'd maybe have a 3-litre petrol engine Audi, but then you'd have an e-tron. But now with this, each kind of numbering, so you've got 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 60, 70, that kind of each correlates to a band of brake horsepower, which in relation to a certain power outage.
So without further ado, shall we talk through
Let's get into
the numbers?
Yes.
So the first one is, you will see the designation number of 30 on the back of some vehicles. You won't see it on all of them because I think you can have it excluded if you want to. But if you see a car, an A3 or whatever it is, and it says it's a 30 TDI or TFSI, whatever it is, then that means it's between 81 and 96 kilowatts of power, which is the equivalent to 107 to 127 brake horsepower.
Correct. Moving on, so the second category is 35, and that will give you a power output of between 110 to 120 kilowatts of power, which correlates to about 145 to 159 brake horsepower.
Who knows, perhaps over time they will define the numbers a little bit more. That might change slightly, but at the moment this is where we're at.
So if we keep looking kind of into the middle a bit, there's a lot of numbers to do with all this, so we're kind of just easing the mind a bit with...
We're just reading it, basically. We're reading it because there's no way we're going to memorise it, are we? So, and it's important that we get the information right, which moves us on to 40. The models that are designated with the numbers 40 on. And these power units will be between 125 and 150 kilowatts, which is 165 to 198 brake horsepower.
So you're getting up in the power now.
We're getting up there. So, number 40, if you see that on the back of your Audi or any Audi, it's because the power output, regardless of petrol, diesel, battery, whatever, is between 125 and 150 kilowatts.
So, on to 45. And we have here a range between 169 to 185 kilowatts of power output, which relates to 223 to 244 brake horsepower.
And I've just realised we have, some of you may know, we have the A4 All-Road Quattro, which is the 2-litre TDI, 190 PS, so that falls into the 40 model, doesn't it? Between 165 and 198 brake horsepower.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, so 190 PS is about 189 brake horsepower.
Yeah, don't question why we...
I was going to say what's 1 horsepower between friends, but 1 horsepower between competitive drivers, that means everything. So, this leads us on to 50. So there's no 45.
No.
There is a 45. We've just done 45.
There's no 55.
That's what it is. So 50, and this is for models between 210 and 230 kilowatts, which is 278 to 304 brake horsepower. So we're moving into the top end of the TDI ranges, aren't we, really?
Yeah.
And some of the the higher power TFSI models.
I mean, your 40s and your 45s is basically your most common one, because like your 2 and 3 litres are around, your 200s, 200 brake horsepower around there. So that'll be probably the most common one you'll see on maybe A5s, A6s, A7s. But yeah, so 50, and you got 60. So this will be for models between 320 and 340 kilowatts of engine output power, which will be between 423 and 449 brake horsepower. I mean,
we're not going to specify which models carry that power, are we?
Because this kind of power range between your brake horsepower, this is really getting in for like your RS range. But this isn't carried into your RS range, so it's a weird ground to see what they're going to do with it.
What Audi have said is anything that holds the S or the RS badge on it won't have one of these numbers designated, even though they do have a number that within the system specifies that power output.
Yeah.
You're not going to see this on if you get an R8 or an RS4 or an RS6 or an S3. Theoretically, S5, you're not going to see any of these numbers on the back.
No,
because the S or the RS or the R designates the
top level of Audi, so they're not going to carry this into it. However, though, the last category is an interesting one, which you can do, the 70.
For models of more than 400 kilowatts of power, which is over 529 brake horsepower. Where are we at with that? R8?
R8, but because they're not carrying it into the R8 name, what are they... I mean, the e-tron GT, what's that going to be? I doubt that's going to be that powerful, but...
Either way, if they produce a vehicle, regardless of what it is, it's going to have an output power, isn't it?
Yeah,
so you're still going to have a number for it, even though when you get to the R, the S, the RS, and the R range, you don't have to have the badge on the back because it's already designated as being at the top of the sporting range. So that... from 30 to 70 covers the numbering system as it is at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really exciting actually to see where they're going to go with this, because obviously they're releasing the e-tron this year, very, very soon, which...
It's out there, isn't it?
It's out there, but it's really interesting because they've announced, but the e-tron GT as well.
And it's also going to be interesting to see where all the other manufacturers start going with it.
Yeah, because...
Mercedes have kind of had a thing where, like different with the C200 and the C220, it was practically the same engine. You're going back, in times gone by, you sometimes used to be able to work out the model it was, like a 3 Series or 4 Series, and then the next few digits were the size of the engine. It was the 2 litre, 2.5. It's just not that simple anymore, and it's going to get more complex.
But as it gets more complex, we'll just keep releasing more videos.
Hopefully, we've started off a bit of a discussion here. Some people love it, some people hate it, and either way, though, it's kind of here. We've got to get our heads around it. Comment down below let's get a conversation started. You know, and we can pick up on this at a later point, can't we, if we want
Yeah.
to?
So Audi is one of the first people to do this, basically. They're really planning for the future, Audi. They're properly on top of this game. It's really interesting to see who else is going to take after them, how they're going to do it, what cars they're going to leave room for, because everything's going electric. Just the future of this whole naming system is
absolutely,
cool.
definitely. And keep watching, because there's going to be more episodes in this where we talk about, we haven't really decided yet, well, certainly Mercedes.
Yeah, we'll go for Mercedes.
And,
we'll do like let's do the three main Germans. Let's go Audi, Mercedes, BMW. We'll maybe do like a Lamborghini one. People don't. I mean,
Porsche. We have to do Porsche, don't we?
We're doing a Porsche one.
Yes.
Oh, because the 992 has just been released. That's what it's all about.
It is indeed.
Teaching, learning, having fun.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Make sure you tune in for our next episodes.
Many
There's
episodes.
going to be more episodes on this.
Yep.
But we have got a couple of Audi road tests coming up, reviews.
Potentials, yeah.
You've got to keep subscribing.
Boom.
Turn the bell on.
Turn the bell. The bell will be there.
On. Yeah.
Where do you want the thumbs up?
Comment.
Thumbs up. Right there. Yeah.
Is that it for now?
Yeah, just have fun on YouTube. Just learn stuff, and we hope you learned something today.
Either way, comment. And guess what?
We're going to see you in
the next video.